What's up, guys? Welcome to part 3 of college football predictions. I have finished the Big 12 and the Big 10, so go check those out. But right now, we're going to start with the ACC. Finishing last in the ACC Atlantic should come as no surprise. I have the Syracuse Orange. This team is just not as good as most people think. I don't really see them contending at all. The best they could get is a bowl game, but I just don't see it happening this year. They start off the season 1-1, beating UConn but losing to Louisville. They lose to Purdue and Vriginia. They do beat Wagner. Then they end the season on a 6-game losing streak, losing to NC State, Clemson, Notre Dame, Pitt, FSU, Wake Forest, and Boston College. Don't expect much of this team, so I have them going 2-10 this year. Finishing 5th in the ACC Atlantic, I have the Louisville Cardinals. This team could be better than what I have them. I could see them making a bowl game, but their schedule is also a pretty tough schedule. They play week 1 at Syracuse, so I would give them a W. They play at Central Florida. I'm going with Central Florida in this one. Central Florida is actually a pretty underrated team if you're asking me. But they do host Florida State, but I'm pretty high on Florida State this year, so I'm going to go with Florida State. I have them beating South Florida, losing at Boston College, beating Virginia at Virginia, then going on a 2-game losing streak, losing to Pitt and Wake Forest. Again, their last run of the season against James Madison, then finishing the season on a 3-game losing streak, losing at Clemson, to NC State, and at Kentucky. So now it's finishing 5th in the ACC Atlantic. Louisville finished 6th, that's my bad. Finishing 5th in the ACC Atlantic at Florida State. I'd have them doing very solid this year. I think they could be ranked by the end of the year. I have them starting off the season 3-0, but losing to Boston College. I do have them beating Wake Forest and winning at NC State. I feel like this team is going to be a spoiler for some teams. I do have them losing to Clemson at home, beating Georgia Tech, losing at Miami, but I have them beating Syracuse and Louisiana, but losing Week 12 against the Battle of Florida, against Florida Gators. But I have them going 8-4 this year, and I think they could go 9-3, but they could also go like 5-7. This team's a hit or miss team. Finishing 4th in the ACC Atlantic, I have Boston College. I have them at 7-5, but they have a better conference record than Florida State, which is why they're ahead of them. I am actually somewhat high on this team. I feel like they start off the season 0-2, but then they're going to win streak, winning 4 in a row, but losing at Wake Forest and beating UConn and Duke. But then the last 3 games of the season, they go 1-2, losing at NC State and at Notre Dame. But they did win the season off with the win against Syracuse, and then they also have a bowl game, so that's good for them. Finishing 3rd in the ACC Atlantic, this could come as a surprise to some people. I have Wake Forest. Wake Forest was in the ACC title game last year, but I don't see them repeating it this year. I do have them starting off the season 3-0, but then going on a 2-game losing streak, losing to Clemson and at Florida State. And then they go on another 3-game win streak, beating Army, Boston College, and winning at Louisville. But then they lose at NC State, which is actually kind of big, and what NC State will be at. I do have them winning the season on a 3-game win streak, beating North Carolina, Syracuse, and Duke. But yeah, 9-3 for Wake Forest. They will be ranked at the end of the season. Finishing 2nd in the ACC Atlantic, actually might come as a shock to some people, is NC State. Their recruiting has been very solid recently, and last year they were in so many games and could have won it, but they just weren't able to. This year I could see them winning it, but I have them losing 3 games, and 3 games are not going to be as you think. I have them starting off the season 4-0, but they lose to Clemson and FSU. Then they go on a 5-game win streak, beating Syracuse, Virginia Tech, Wake Forest, and Boston College. But they lose Week 12 at North Carolina, which puts them at 9-3, and then 2nd in the ACC Atlantic. Finishing 1st in the ACC, this could be a shock, but I don't think it will be. I have the Clemson Tigers. They're going 10-2. Clemson's not there yet, I'd say. They do have a lot of talent, but I don't trust the quarterback situation there. They were off the season 5-0 before losing at Boston College. Clemson always has a game on their schedule where they just don't play like their normal selves. And at Boston College, I think that's going to be a game where they end up losing. They go on a 2-game win streak, but they lose at Notre Dame this year. Notre Dame's recruiting has been off the charts, and I could see Notre Dame being a pretty solid team this year. Notre Dame's prediction will be out when I post the American standings since they're not technically in a division. And then Clemson finishes the season on a 3-game win streak, going 10-2 and winning the ACC Atlantic. Just to recap, the ACC Atlantic finishing 7th, 2-10 and 0-8 in the conference. I have Syracuse finishing 6th. I have Louisville going 4-8 but 2-6 in the conference. Number 5, I have Florida State going 8-4 and 5-3 in the conference. Boston College once again is ahead because they have the same record, but Boston College beat them head to head. But I have Boston College going 7-5 and 5-3 in the conference. Wake Forest finishing at 3, tied with NC State, but NC State gets it because of the head to head. Wake Forest goes 9-3 and 5-3. NC State goes 9-3, 5-3. And then sitting at the one spot, I got Clemson going 10-2 and 7-1. Okay, starting with the ACC Coastal side now. Finishing last, I have Virginia. I did make an error. Week 7, they lose at Georgia Tech. But I have them going 3-9, losing to Illinois, Duke, Louisville, Georgia Tech, Miami, UNC, Pitt, Coastal, and Virginia Tech. I do have them beating Richmond, Syracuse, and Old Dominion, though. This team could be a bowl-eligible team, but I just don't see it this year. So I have them going 3-9. Finishing 6th in the ACC Coastal, going 4-8, I have the Duke Blue Devils. Duke is just a team that could make it also, but they have a pretty tough schedule this year. I'm starting off the season 1-1, losing at Northwestern but beating Temple. I've been going on a 3-game win streak, beating NC, Kansas, and Virginia. Then the downfall starts, losing week 6 through 12, losing at Georgia Tech, North Carolina, Miami, Boston College, Virginia Tech, Pitt, and Wake Forest. Like I said, this team is just not going to be able to contend with the ACC teams. But yeah, Duke is going 4-8. Finishing 5th in the ACC Coastal, I have Georgia Tech. They have a worse record than Duke, but a better conference record. I've been starting the season losing to Clemson, beating West Carolina, losing to Ole Miss, losing at Central Florida, losing at Pitt. I do have them beating Duke and West Virginia, but then going on a huge losing streak week 8 through 12, losing to Florida State, Virginia Tech, Miami, North Carolina, and Georgia. If Georgia Tech had an easier schedule, I could see them being a bowl team, but this schedule is a tough schedule for them. Like, they got Georgia and Clemson, Miami. They play at North Carolina, at Virginia Tech, Ole Miss. But yeah, this schedule is kind of crazy for Georgia Tech, and I just don't see them being able to contend with it. Finishing 4th in the ACC Coastal, a team I'm actually kind of excited to watch, I have Virginia Tech. I've been starting off the season going 3-0. I do have them losing to West Virginia, North Carolina, and Pitt, though, which is going to put a silence to the season. But I do have them getting an upset win over Miami. I do have them losing at NC State, though, but they finished the season 4-0, beating Georgia Tech, Duke, at Liberty, and Virginia. Finishing 3rd in the conference, I have Pitt. They were the ACC champs last year. They lost Addison and Pickett this year. I don't think they're going to be that good, but at the same time, they do have a pretty easy schedule. I have them start the season in the L against West Virginia. Then I have them winning 6 in a row, beating Tennessee, Western Michigan, Rhode Island, Georgia Tech, and Virginia Tech, and Louisville. I do have them losing at North Carolina, and then finishing the season 3-1, winning against Syracuse, Virginia, and Duke, but losing at Miami to finish the season off. Finishing 2nd in the ACC Coastal, I have North Carolina. They have a worse record than Pitt, but they finished better in the conference. I have them going 8-4, winning against Florida A&M. I do have them getting upset by Appalachian State. I do have them beating Georgia State, losing to Notre Dame, beating Virginia Tech, losing to Miami, beating Duke, Pitt, and Virginia, but losing to Wake Forest, and then finishing off the season 2-0 with wins against Georgia Tech, and winning the in-battle rivalry of North Carolina. So North Carolina is a pretty good team this year, but they also are kind of overrated team. So I'm going to have them be at 8-4 this season. Finishing first, which is kind of a hot take, I have the Miami, Florida Hurricanes. I have them going 9-3. I have them starting off the season 2-1, losing to A&M, but beating Bethune-Cookman and Southern Miss. They go on to beat Middle Tennessee and North Carolina, lose at Virginia Tech, though. Then I have them going on a 4-game win streak, beating Duke, Virginia, Florida State, and at Georgia Tech. I do have them losing at Clemson, though. I don't think that should be a shock to some people. But then I have them finishing out the season with a win against Pitt to win the ACC Coastal. Just to recap the ACC Coastal, I have Virginia finishing 7th, going 3-9 and 1-7 in the conference. Finishing at 6, I have Duke going 4-8 and 1-7 in the conference. Number 5, Georgia Tech. I'm going 3-9 but 2-6 in the conference. Number 4, Virginia Tech, 8-4 but 5-3 in the conference. Number 3, Pitt, but I have them going 9-3 and 6-2 in the conference. Number 2, North Carolina, 8-4 but 6-2 in the conference. And number 1, winning the conference, I have Miami, 9-3 and 6-2 in the conference. The moment you all have been waiting for the ACC Championship. I have Miami versus Clemson. This game's going to be a good one in my opinion. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. But Clemson, they know how to win these type of games. Miami hasn't been in there for a while. So I'm going to go with the Clemson Tigers winning the ACC. But I don't think they make the playoffs. 2 losses. I just don't see a 2-loss team getting in the playoffs this year, especially with how stacked the other teams are. So Clemson is going to win the ACC. Miami should get a New Year's Six Bowl, but I guess we'll see. So if you guys enjoyed the video, you know what to do. Like and subscribe. Part 4 will be the Pac-12, and then number 5 will be the SEC. But if you haven't checked out the Big 10 and the Big 12 predictions yet, go do that. I think you'll like most of them. But yeah, comment here you have winning the ACC, and I'll see you next time.